Hello, thanks for tuning in to the Hoosier Myths and Legends podcast.
I'm Rebecca Wilhelm.
I'm Mary Quigley.
And I'm Hope Wilhelm.
Join us as we dive into the spookier side of the Hoosier state.
So what comes to your mind when you think of Indiana? Do you think of corn? Do you think of basketball? Do you think of the Indianapolis 500? Maybe you think of famous celebrities who were born in Indiana, like John Mellencamp or Michael Jackson.
But as the saying goes, there was more than corn in Indiana. 92 counties make up the Hoosier state. In this podcast, we are going to discuss some Indiana folklore from each of these counties. If you are into tall tales, ghosts, or spooky legends, then this is a podcast you are not going to want to miss.
This episode is from Vigo County, Indiana.
So one of the prettiest cemeteries I've seen in Indiana would have to be the Highland Lawn Cemetery, which is located in Terre Haute, Indiana. The cemetery is well known for its beautiful, well-kept landscaping. One of the most striking features is the Romanesque-style chapel, which was built in 1893. The cemetery is peaceful, and it's the final resting place for many notable Terre Haute citizens, such as silent film actress Valeska Surratt and writer and poet Max Ehrmann. However, the cemetery may also be the home of a ghost or two. Many have said that while strolling the lush green grass and taking in the silent and peaceful surroundings, that they have heard a dog barking and have seen the shadow of a man and a dog roaming the park together in the late evening. In today's episode, we are going to explore the enduring love between a pet and owner. We bring you the legend of Stiffy Green.
The legend of Stiffy Green is a pretty well-known Indiana folklore legend.
The story of the loyal little green-eyed bulldog who died of a broken heart at its master's tomb has captivated Hoosiers for many generations, myself included, because I love dogs.
I love the picture of Stiffy that the Vigo County Historical emailed us. He was very cute. This is one of my favorite legends because I love the thought of Stiffy and Mr. Heinel being together still even after death.
One of the things, though, that over the years that gets lost in the legend is who was John Heinel?
It's something that I have often wondered about over the years myself.
So we did a little research on the legend of Stiffy Green and John Heinel. We found many of our answers as to who John Heinel was thanks to a Hoosier State Chronicles article titled The Spectre Bulldog and the Real John Heinel by Stephen J. Taylor.
So John Heinel was a prominent Terre Haute businessman. According to the Hoosier State Chronicles newspaper article, he was operating a greenhouse in Terre Haute by the end of the Civil War.
This greenhouse turned into quite a business for Heinel. Terre Haute is located in what's known as the Crossroads of America, and this, according to the Hoosier State Chronicles article, helped Heinel have the ability to ship his flowers all over the United States.
I couldn't believe how many different types of flowers he was able to grow. He even had something that the Hoosier Chronicles article called a flora plantation down in Tallahassee, Florida.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because it would allow him to grow things that he couldn't grow here in Indiana.
Yes, I thought it was amazing that he was able to ship seeds and plants everywhere all over the country at this time.
It was definitely something that not everyone was doing. Heinel was ahead of his time.
The list of products was also impressive. According to the Hoosier Chronicles article, Heinel was able to offer chrysanthemums, palms, laurels, ferns, Parisian lilacs, African violets, and grapevines.
Yeah, those are not typically flowers that you see grown in Indiana.
Especially back then.
Heinel's plants and flowers were so successful that he was able to expand and have many different businesses all over town. His brother Lawrence Heinel and son Fred Heinel were also in the business with him. I think it's important to also note that the business continued as a staple in the Terre Haute community until it finally closed its doors in 2014.
Something that I found interesting is that the business continued and thrived for many decades. Mr. Heinel was also someone who gave back to the community, and according to the Hoosier State Chronicle, he was the president of something in Terre Haute that was known as the Rose Dispensary.
What was the Rose Dispensary?
It was a clinic that offered medical services to the poor.
He also served as vice president of the Rose Orphanage.
The Hoosier State Chronicle's article also says that Heinel was very well known for his honesty.
So no one really knows how the family acquired the little green-eyed bulldog that they named Stiffy Green.
And that is very true. There is even some speculation on whether or not Stiffy is actually a stuffed dog at all.
Some tales you hear say that Stiffy was actually just a concrete porch decoration. The director of the Vigo County Historical Society also believes that Stiffy was never a real dog.
Honestly, that one seems a little odd to me. Why would you put just a concrete decoration in a tomb unless it means something significant?
Well, there is a theory out there that Stiffy was his favorite porch decoration. But I agree with you, Mary. I've been to the Vigo County Historical Society and I've seen Stiffy myself. And he does not look like a concrete statue at all. He appears to be a stuffed dog. When you're staring at Stiffy, you can tell that it is real fur on there. It does not look anything like a concrete statue.
Most people around Terre Haute believe that Stiffy was a real dog and that he and John Heinel were inseparable.
People would see the pair together everywhere all over town.
One of Stiffy and Mr. Heinel's favorite things to do was to take an evening walk together.
Stiffy was known to be very protective of the Heinel family, especially John.
According to the Terre Haute Tribune-Star article, Historical Treasure, The Legends of Stiffy Green, by Linda Patrick, Stiffy refused to leave John Heinel's side even after death.
Heinel died at home on New Year's Eve, 1920.
Stiffy was inconsolable. The little dog would be found daily at the mausoleum.
John's wife Mary would go to bring the dog home only to find he would run away again.
So the Tribune-Star article says that Stiffy would bark and growl at anyone who came near the mausoleum. It became well known around town that if you went out to the Highland Lawn Cemetery, Stiffy could be found guarding the tomb.
One sad day, Mary went out to the cemetery to bring Stiffy home yet again.
Only this time when she went out to the cemetery, she found that the dog had passed away on the steps to the mausoleum.
Legend says that poor Stiffy had died from a broken heart.
Mary Heinel took Stiffy to a local taxidermy and had the little dog stuffed. His green eyes were replaced with glass eyes. His body was then placed in the mausoleum so that he could forever guard his master.
Mary Heinel passed in 1936 and their son Fred in 1955. Both of them were placed with John in the mausoleum under Stiffy's careful watch.
So the story ends.
Or does it?
According to the Hoosier State Chronicle article, Ronald Baker started the folklore program at Indiana State in 1968, and this is where the legend of Stiffy Green really began to take off.
It was around this time that it became a popular pastime for people to go out to the Highland Lawn in the night and try to see Stiffy Green in the mausoleum.
People would hop the fence and shine their flashlights into the crypt to catch a glimpse of the dog's special green eyes.
It wasn't too long before the legends began. People started saying they could hear Stiffy growling and protecting his master's resting place.
Legend says that they started to hear a dog barking at night from within the cemetery, and the barking was accompanied by a man whistling.
Then someone spotted the shadowy figure of a man roaming the cemetery at night with a shadowy little bulldog by his side. It was said this was the spirit of John Heinel and Stiffy.
I kind of love the idea of that.
Me too.
I think it's crazy that vandals would not leave Stiffy alone and that he had to be moved.
John Heinel's family had Stiffy moved to the Vigo County Historical Society in 1989 for safety.
Apparently, someone shot a gun into the crypt and it damaged Stiffy's face and eye area.
Wow, that's crazy. It's also very sad.
So now you can visit Stiffy at the Vigo County Historical Society, located at 929 Wabash Avenue in Terre Haute, Indiana, where he is a part of their permanent display. We want to thank Susie Quick at the Vigo County Historical Society for sending us an official photograph of Stiffy to use for our social media and for the information about the legend of Stiffy.
Have you been to Highland Lawn Cemetery? Do you have a John Heinel or a Stiffy Green sighting to tell us about? We would love to hear about it. Please send us an email to HoosierMythsAndLegends@gmail.com. We may use it in a later episode. In the email, please let us know if you wish to remain anonymous.
To see our source material, please visit our website, HoosierMythsAndLegends.com. Please find us and follow us on Facebook or on Instagram.
Our theme song was written and recorded by Wet Blanket. The song title is Taxidermy Race Car. Wet Blanket is frontman Joseph Carpenter, lead guitar Earl Wilhelm, rhythm guitar Joshua Carpenter, bass Parker Warman, and drums Christian Kittle.
Thank you to all of our listeners. We appreciate all of your support. If you like what you hear, please don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us through. Your comments and likes help other people find us. So thank you for tuning in to Hoosier Myths and Legends.
As always, stay spooky.